There are many things in life that strive to uphold balance, and I'd like to believe 1.1 of WutheringWaves perfectly upholds the notion of balance. As we have on one side Jinxin being more elegant and petite, and then you have Changli on the other side being dominant and absolutely thick. Changli is the next resonator dropping after Jinxin and is going to be a powerful main DPS character I'm sure many players are eagerly waiting to summon for. We were able to have some more insight into Changli's kit and gameplay through the 1.1 main story, so I'll be running through a full breakdown on Changli's kit, her best teams, viable echo builds, weapon choices, and the overall value she will have on your account. Now I gotta say some stuff might change since she hasn't officially released, but as she is in the game and you can see her full kit, I really doubt they would change anything. Just before we jump right into it, would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel for more WutheringWaves content and drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Changli is a fusion one-handed sword DPS character, and due to her great flexibility, she is amazing in both the main DPS and sub DPS position. Changli has a unique basic attack string as she performs 4 fusion basic attacks, and on the final hit, she enters True Sight lasting for 12 seconds and is the first state out of the 2 states she can enter. Changli is able to engage in aerial combat similar to Jinxin, which also allows her to enter the True Sight state after dealing the final hit from the mid-air attack string. The heavy attack is pretty insane as it allows Changli to turn into a phoenix, dealing damage to enemies while striking upwards, and can be cast whilst in mid-air. Changli's resonant skill has 2 casts, allowing her to deal fusion damage through more stunning animation and ending with a plunge attack down on the enemy. As you activate the resonant skill, it will also allow Changli to enter the True Sight state. The final way of entering the True Sight state would be through Changli's intro skill, which allows Changli to appear in mid-air and start dealing damage to enemies. Now it's great that there's quite a few ways Changli is able to enter True Sight, as this is where her damage starts to really ramp up. Once Changli is in True Sight, her basic attacks and heavy attacks will deal damage considered as resonant skill damage. So just like Jinxin, she is a resonant skill damage scaler, and it will be what majority of her insane damage scales off. The core of Changli's kit will be the Forte Circuit, and is where her damage takes another significant jump. The Forte gauge allows Changli to hold up to 4 stacks of Inflamement, with each bar on the gauge representing 1 stack. Changli obtains 1 stack of Inflamement for every basic attack and heavy attack within True Sight, and can obtain all 4 stacks at once through the Resonance Liberation. Once Changli has reached max stacks on the Forte gauge, she can then cast a heavy attack Flaming Sacrifice, which deals damage considered as resonant skill damage and allows Changli to enter her final state, being the Fiery Feather state. Once Changli is in the Fiery Feather state, her attack is increased by 25% for 10 seconds, which allows Changli to deal some insane damage. The Forte Circuit also has an amazing feature allowing Changli to change her appearance for each stack of Inflamement. Stack 1, a small flame arc will appear in front of Changli. Stack 2, the flame will remain and Changli's coat starts to burn up from how hot she is. Stack 3, the coat is burned right off, and stack 4, she decides to cosplay Gojo. So KuroGames really popped off, with insane attention to detail in Changli's Forte Circuit, allowing us to see multiple design variations of Changli. Changli also has a few passives within her kit, enabling her to deal a lot more damage. Secret Strategist increases Changli's fusion damage by 5% for each stack of Inflamement when dealing basic or heavy attacks within True Sight, meaning you would be able to deal a total of 20% increased fusion damage through Changli's True Sight attacks. Sweeping Force additionally increases Changli's fusion damage by 20% and will ignore 15% of defense on enemies when using the Flaming Sacrifice heavy attack or Resonance Liberation. Essentially, this passive sets up the Fiery Feather state 10-second window to allow Changli to hit insanely hard, so she will be a very powerful damage dealer, clearly capable of taking up the main DPS position. Now the outro skill is what enables Changli to also play as a sub DPS, as it's the fusion version of Yinlin's outro skill. Changli provides an increase of 20% in fusion damage and increases Resonance Liberation damage by 25% for the next resonator switching in. So this outro skill provides Changli with a lot more longevity in the game. So when there are much better fusion main DPS characters to run, Changli will still be a very valuable character, being a strong sub DPS dealing great burst damage and can provide increased fusion damage and Resonance Liberation damage. Now Changli is very flexible when it comes to team building, synergizing with quite a lot of characters. The most popular team utilizing Changli as a quick swap burst sub DPS would be Changli alongside Encore and Verina. Encore will definitely take advantage of Changli's outro skill, increasing her fusion damage by 20%. However, Encore's Resonance Liberation scales on basic attack damage, so she wouldn't be able to fully utilize Changli's outro skill. Regardless, they will still synergize very well, and you would be able to quick swap Changli in to deal insane burst damage during her 10-second window within the Fiery Feather state, providing Encore with time for her abilities to cool down. Instead of Encore, Qiqia would synergize very well with Changli too, being the only other fusion main DPS character and can fully utilize Changli's outro skill, especially since Qiqia's Resonant Liberation is one of her stronger abilities, meaning the increase in Resonant Liberation damage would be very valuable for her. So I'm sure Qiqia mains will definitely be looking forward to Changli's release. Now since Changli's outro skill is the fusion version of Yinlin's outro skill, means any character you would usually pair alongside Yinlin to utilize the Resonant Liberation damage bonus can also be paired up with Changli for the exact same reason. So characters such as Rover and Calcharo would synergize with Changli very well, as they are able to deal a lot more damage with their Resonant Liberation, which is a massive source of their damage. So Changli can definitely be seen as a replacement for Yinlin if you don't have her. Changli as a main DPS will have a few strong sub DPS choices that synergize very well with her. The first would be the double calcium cannon team, consisting of Changli as the main DPS and Taoqi as the sub DPS. Considering majority of Changli's damage scales from resonant skill damage, Taoqi's outro skill will be insanely valuable for Changli, just as it is for Jinchi, providing a huge 38% resonant skill damage bonus. Also, since Taoqi's Liberation is one of her more powerful abilities, she would benefit from Changli's Liberation damage bonus too, allowing Taoqi to quick swap in to deal a lot of damage with her Liberation. Taoqi can additionally provide shield to the team and heal herself, meaning if you wanted to, you could even swap out Verina for Taoqi instead and have another sub DPS character, which may not be the best choice overall for Changli, but for the sake of having fun and experimenting, it's something you could try. Another powerful and spicy synergy would be Changli with Yinlin. Both Changli and Yinlin will be able to provide a liberation damage bonus to each other, allowing you to drop one nuclear liberation after another. Also, Yinlin will deal electro-coordinated attacks through the punishment mark when Changli is on the field for 18 seconds, meaning you would cleave through enemies a lot quicker. So these two will have great potential in dealing insane burst damage whenever they switch on the field, and Changli will have a bit more field time dealing damage paired with Yinlin's coordinated attacks. Mortefi would synergize with Changli too, as he would utilize the increased fusion damage bonus from her outro skill and can also deal fusion coordinated attacks through his liberation. However, Mortefi's outro skill wouldn't be that valuable for Changli since she wouldn't benefit from increased heavy attack damage. So that would be something to consider when pairing these two together, as Mortefi would benefit more than Changli. Changli is going to be one of those characters just like Yinlin, where you can slot her into many different team compositions. So she would have quite a longevity since her kit provides her with the freedom to synergize with many characters, and she would only increase in value as more fusion DPS characters release in the future. Moving on to Changli's echo builds now. Changli's best in slot set will be the 5-piece Molten Rift set, as it provides 10% fusion damage and an additional 30% fusion damage increase for 15 seconds after releasing their resonant skill. Changli's resonant skill has a cooldown of 12 seconds, meaning you would have a boost of 40% in fusion damage with 100% uptime, which is massive for Changli. As for the main echo, unfortunately there isn't much variety in the Molten Rift set, as the Inferno Rider is the only option. After activating the echo skill, he provides increased fusion damage by 12% and basic attack damage bonus by 12%. So it isn't the greatest since Changli wouldn't really utilize the basic attack damage bonus increase. At some point another fusion forecast echo will drop, and hopes are they will be able to provide increased fusion damage along with increased resonant skill damage, but for now you'll need to run the Inferno Rider. The option of running 44111 is also unavailable since there isn't another forecast fusion echo. A viable but less optimal build would be a 2-piece Molten Rift set and a 2-piece Lingering Tune set. You would be missing out on the massive 30% increase in fusion damage, but will receive a 10% attack increase from the Lingering Tune set. So this set would be a viable build for players that haven't got a solid 5-piece Molten Rift set just yet. Once you are using the double 2-piece build, just aim in completing the 5-piece Molten Rift set, as it is the optimal build for Changli. In terms of main stats for the echoes, you would want to run either crit damage or crit rate depending on the weapon Changli will be using and substats of your echoes, fusion damage bonus for the 3-cost echoes, and attack percent for the 1-cost echoes. Changli doesn't have much variety when it comes to weapon choices either. The signature weapon will of course be Changli's best in slot by far, providing up to 48% crit damage as the main stat, either 12% crit rate or 12% attack, and can provide an increase of 56% resident skill damage. Now it's either 12% crit rate or attack since it's still kinda unconfirmed. It was shown to be 12% attack in the 1.1 main story, but a lot of sources are confirming it to be 12% crit rate. Either way, they both would be huge for Changli, so it wouldn't really matter which one Changli's weapon ends up receiving, since it will still remain the best in slot weapon by a long shot. The second best weapon would be the Emerald of Genesis, providing up to 24% crit rate as the main stat, increases energy regen by 12.8% and increases attack up to 12%. Now this weapon is the best choice from the weapon selector you receive at Union level 45 and is also a powerful option for Changli. To access the full 12% attack bonus, the weapon requires you to activate the Resonance skill twice, which Changli is capable of doing with 2 casts. So the Emerald of Genesis would be perfect for Changli as she can fully utilize the weapon and all of the stats it provides. These 2 weapons would be the only strong picks for Changli, but there are some 4-star weapons Changli can still make use out of. The Commando of Conviction would provide Changli with an increase of 30.3% attack as the main stat and an additional 15% attack after using the intro skill. So a solid option providing Changli with a good boost in attack. Lunar Cutter being the last resort provides up to an increase in 30% attack as the main stat and an additional 12% attack upon entering the battlefield, which can be maintained by obtaining stacks of 2% attack through defeating enemies. Again, there isn't much variety when it comes to weapons for characters in general, but if you did pick up the Emerald of Genesis, there would be less of a burden for you having to pick up Changli's signature weapon. However, don't feel pressured into having to pick up Changli's signature weapon, even though I would recommend it if you don't have the Emerald of Genesis, since more options will soon release that would be viable for Changli. Now Changli as a character would straight up have insane value for pretty much any player's account. Being a strong main DPS character with insane damage potential, able to attack enemies whilst in midair, great design, stunning animations, and can buff fusion main DPS characters massively. Similar to Yinlin, the Ultra skill alone will boost Changli's value by a ton, as she can slot into many different teams that can either fully utilize her Ultra skill or part of it. So if you are after a character that can fit into many different team compositions, providing you with the freedom to play around with multiple teams, Changli will be a character definitely for you. Also, even just a strong DPS character that is fun to play and offers plenty of personality for the cultured ones, Changli will also tick those boxes quite easily. Overall, I believe Changli will be a strong meta character and will have insane longevity. I understand it is quite difficult to say for Changli since Jinchi is currently out and is also another insane character that brings a ton of value to her account. Changli may not deal as much damage as Jinchi, but it doesn't take away from how strong of a DPS she still will be, along with being more flexible and the best in slot sub DPS for fusion main DPS characters. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel for more WutheringWaves content, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. Also, drop a comment on your thoughts on Changli. Are you going to be summoning for her, and how great of a character do you think she'll be? And yeah, hope to catch you guys later.